Hello and welcome back. I'm bballjo and this is my review of your Workers and Resources Soviet Republic save game. Let's get started with Kachip. This is obviously new. I haven't done this before. This is the first one that comes around and I want to see what we can do here. This is Kachip's start of his map, start of the city. I haven't really looked around much. I know where we are on the map. We are right here down by the Soviet borders. That makes sense. We can see that with the star, and that is great. And he asked me to give him a little review of what he has done so far. Now, the start of every republic is the most important thing. Otherwise, you will just run into trouble and just things will not work out the way you want them to. He asked me specifically to look at his rail yard and rail structuring and how he has rail set up, where that goes. So we will get there. But first, I want to get started with just seeing what's going on here. This is just a review, suggestions, what can you do better, what is great, what is not so great, and so on. And going from there, I can see that he plays on easy money. That's fine, nothing wrong with that. And let's see, is he playing on the hard game settings? It looks reasonable, so we're playing on relatively light, which means you have a little more leeway for what you want to do, which also means your happiness is generally higher. And that's fine, that's fine. That's a way to play. You have to play the game the way that it's fun for you. So, let's look through what we have going on here. I have no idea what this building is. University Tower. That is a pretty nice looking university. It's good sized. It looks like it only has road connections. Yeah, I kind of like that. That's a pretty cool, nice building. I like it. Just do more of that. University, absolutely very important right away, but it looks like we are in year 3 already. So he has played for a little while. He has a healthy amount of citizens. Let's see how much he started with. Just more curious. I know he didn't really ask me for it, but it looks like he started with 500. They grew, then he bought a few. And I'm assuming this was a winter, but that dip is pretty normal, but your escapes are relatively high. That's a little scary. What's your escapes this year? They exist, but they existed more in the beginning of the year. What is this? This is March, February. So yeah, it was definitely cold in this time, which makes me think that was probably a heating problem. But that's all okay. Your heating plant is relatively close to the city, and that looks good. This heating plant looks like you have an underground heating pipe. Yeah, it's connected right here. That can work. It's just really expensive, but if you play on easy, that's usually fine. I would argue that just having this one is probably more than sufficient than putting another heat exchanger over here. But it's fine. Let's see. What is your range? Yeah, you can reach everything. I think you could be fine with just having one heat exchanger sitting right there, especially since you have a large heating plant. But nothing wrong with that, period. So that is fine. How are we doing on pollution? Let's just see. Health is 100%. Just generally 100%. So I think pollution-wise, we are okay on this side. So that looks good. Otherwise, yeah, you have a hospital that's staffed pretty well. You're not maxed out. You have them reduced. That's important. 2 kindergartens right here. That feels right. But if you do it this way, I would recommend using a modded version. I see you use mods, so I'm just going to recommend mods. There are larger kindergartens that just let you use more staff in the same location, and then you don't have to worry about who is staffed at a time. You can just combine your staffs and have more baby kindergarten availabilities. But this is pretty. I like this. If you want to start that way, that is fine. You do have gravel paths already everywhere. That is very, very important. And you do have your monuments. That is very helpful. And I also see that you have the secret police sitting right here. With a lot of people, actually. I'm not sure that you need this many workers here, but maybe you do. And well, loyalty is down because you don't have much of a chance to supply anything else. But yeah, this looks fine. Let's see, related vehicles. What are you doing? Having a bus stop here and a bus stop here makes me a little nervous. You only have workers waiting. That makes sense. I want to compare what you're picking up here, because I do know that it's a good idea to have a dedicated bus stop just for your construction office, but I want to make sure that that's what you're actually using. You have a bus stop here for a regular bus and a bus line here. Let's see. show me this line. You're running all the way out here to this industry. Okay, that's interesting. What is this line doing? You're doing the same thing. I'm gonna say this is not a good way to split out your citizens. Yeah, this one and this one. They're pretty much doing the same thing. Why is that not a good way to do it? You could use less buses. I see you have 4 buses running right now, all from 2 different locations that are not spaced out evenly. That can cause issues. You're using a lot of fuel. Let's see. This bus is about to leave, I think. You're leaving. Yep, there you go. That bus is leaving. It's not full. That's fine. But this bus is also leaving. This one is full. I think just adding 1 more bus on this route would save you a bus and fuel, and this guy should be able to walk to all the buildings that you have already. So, yeah, I think just using the big bus stop in this case would be better. Maybe if you want, you can even make it a big passenger station for trains. Somewhere in this area, maybe even on this side. I know you have some stuff already built there. But you may be even able to put a terminal station in here. If you don't know what I'm talking about, we'll go down here for citizens. You can even use a large one. Just plop that in here. Yeah, there's too much already going on around me. There's a power line there. You may be able to put it here. Yeah, well, that doesn't fit. This one can fit 1,500 people. You don't need that. You can use just a small train platform. That one can just fit right here. And that will definitely cover everything that you need. And you just can have the trains running out there. No problem. But yeah, you don't need 2 bus platforms. The only way I would approve of 2 bus platforms is using one for your distribution office. And I can see you have this guy assigned. You're just going to run out, so... One thing that I would change right away is take the buses off this line, line detail, these 2 buses, assign them to the other line, and only use this for your construction office crew. But even then, normally I would then say put your bus station a little closer to the construction office, so when they get there, there's actually people waiting there. But yeah, no, that's fine. You do have the orphanage. That looks good. You don't have many children right now, so I would definitely reduce your... tutors by a lot. You want to have some in there, but don't overdo it. And then these guys, let's see, you have them wait until unloaded, and you have trucks sitting here to wait until unloaded. Let's see, how do you have this guy set up? Yeah, you're essentially doing what I always say, where you just want to load certain amounts of both things. I think this is fine. You're using the small trucks. That's good. I think you can make this work together. And honestly, I'm not sure right now. Can we? No, there's no factory connection here. So yeah, this is fine. You could have a truck going back and forth later on. For right now, since there are no children here, actually it's better that you have 2 trucks assigned because they're not going to waste any fuel. So yeah, no, this works. This is fine. But if you add 1 more store, I would just use 1 truck to go from store to orphanage to refill. But no, this is good. This seems to work. There's some vehicles there. That is fine. You are delivering fuel here. Now I wonder how you do that. Technical services. I don't want to really get distracted, but this technical services is really far away from the main roads that you care about. Obviously, this is the main road that you bring your workers in. You want to, well, it's not that far away, but it's kind of far away. Technical services, I would not put close to the border. I would put it further or closer to wherever you want to export or expand to next, which I would assume somewhere in this area. I'm not sure yet, but yeah, it's fine where it is. But you have the big one. Don't put it in the center of where you want to clear snow. Don't put it too far away from the center. Right now, the center where snow is probably here. It's not terrible, but when you expand it, that center will probably move to the other side. Just think about that. It's not bad. Not bad at all. But what I wanted to see is your distribution center. This is another mod. Looks interesting. Kind of like it. What's your assignment? This all looks fine. You bring in fuel in. And I am then assuming, yeah, fuel goes here. You have all of these assigned. That is good. The hospital assigned. Yeah, Yeah, I think that's fine. I'm always you have the hospital sign, but not the fire station. Interesting. Very interesting. Maybe you just changed that recently. You have 11 out of 20 assigned. No, it's fine. That's fine. You can make that work. In the beginning, I would recommend not delivering to individual buildings if you can avoid it. Just put the gas station a little closer to where they are, and then everyone can refuel from there. This just means whenever your fuel truck goes out, and I obviously don't see him going out anywhere right now. Whenever your fuel truck goes out, it can get more fuel at the same time. If you deliver to the individual buildings, it will only grab that one car tank full of fuel, and nothing will happen. Well, it will grab the one tank of fuel, and it will come back with a really partial load, and then the next building gets something, and the next building gets something, and the next building gets something. It's just slowly creeping up. It's just going to be on the way all the time, wasting more fuel than it brings in. So it's just something I would consider doing. One fuel station is usually enough for the main campus like this, so that should be fine. I really like this university right there. That's great. Research, yes, I wouldn't start that right away. I think that is fine. Having these two 10 people trucks, I think that's what your level is. Level, oh, it doesn't tell me here. That's fine. I think that's the level 10. Oh, I can actually just see that. Max is 20, that means 10 people are there. Yeah, no, this is good. I like this city layout. It's very, very available and easily, well, there's one problem with this. You won't like it. You have essentially set your center of the republic to this area, or not center of the republic, center of the city to this area. However, you can't expand to the left because you have industry here. What you probably should have done is move everything, and I want to highlight this in a better way than I am doing right now. Sure. Everything, no, that's not helping. Everything from the university, just straight line down here. If you put that to this side, or even to this to the south side, you have a lot more expanding options, and that could help. Just, yeah, it's fine though. That's fine though if you want to stay at this size, which you have 1,800 people living here and almost anyone unemployed. That's great. That's working good. It looks like you have this set up pretty well. Yeah, you have some percentages set up. They're doing what they're supposed to do. That is good. Cargo station is doing what it's supposed to do. That looks nice. Nobody is stuck there. That is exactly what you're looking for. Food and clothes. You have too much clothing in there. It may have to do with that you're producing some clothing here, but it may be doing something else. But that's okay. What is this guy doing? You are importing food, okay. You are not importing clothes. You're not importing fabric. This is something you could consider, bringing fabric in, because this guy someone needs fabric here. You need fabric. Is there a truck in there? I don't see the truck, which makes me think there's a truck already set up as a dedicated line. That could be good, but if you want to play on hard, you have currently 4 fully functional but fully available covered holds sitting here. They can just import the fabric whenever you need it. It may cost you a little more fuel, but I think you will be fine. Is this guy just doing clothing? Yes, and you are going to this cargo station first, dropping off something there. Yeah, that's perfect. That's the setup you want. So yeah, no, this is good. This is good. You do have a lot of people here, which makes me think you do go through 10 tons of fabric by the time a truck comes back, and that is neat. Nice. No, very nice. I like it. I like that setup. And this is actually looking like it's doing exactly, like it's staying exactly in the right frequency. Where's your truck? Where is your truck? I want to see it. I want to see it now. You. Yes, this vehicle. This one. Where are you? Ah, yes. You're just coming in. No, this is great. This is great. This is good timing. Everything is working. This guy's not going to wait too long. And I really like how many workers you have here. But again, I don't think you need to run 2 bus lines to these 2 stations. 1 is plenty, especially since you always have a lot of workers sitting here. But that's great. That is great. I see you have, what is this? Is this gravel planned for later? You have your coal dumpers, looks like. There's some coal in there. Those... Okay, I get it. You just have a lot of coal here. Yep. That makes sense. You can save them. I would honestly leave them in here just to dump coal, simply because you may forget at some point, and we all know what happens when you forget to turn on your heat. But this is honestly fine. Worker number is also okay. Since your percentages are pretty low, you can probably reduce your worker numbers there and get a couple more people to do clothing. 15 is probably fine. That gets you to half. You can produce up to 1,050, and all you need combined is... Actually, this one tells you the full. Estimated total capacity of connected buildings, 200. You can produce over 1,000, so 20% capacity in the heating plant is all you need, which is about this number. So yeah, don't waste so many workers on this one. But that looks good. I like that you have all your construction industries connected right here. Yeah, that's pretty nice. And I'm assuming they're working. I don't like having these this high because you're not using them. Usually 2 to 3 people is enough, which effectively halves the amount of people that you need for this area. So don't waste your workers on this stuff. You don't need them. The silo makes sense where you have it. Cement here is telling me that you probably have... Do you have a cement truck in here? Is that one it? No, it's a cistern. Where's your cement truck? You don't have a cement truck assigned. How did you get cement here? Interesting. I don't think there's cement assigned. No, there's cement assigned here. Oh, there it is. Where are you? Oh, you're sitting right next to him. I was just blind. Yeah, that's fine. Cement is another one where you only use a little bit at a time, and your cement plant does have 2 connections. So it's not terrible to have one cement truck just dedicated to bringing in cement here, but the way you have it is fine. Use a distribution office whenever possible. But these little trickle volumes that you use, you may want to use a dedicated line for that, but that looks good. Construction office, I'm assuming your consistency or your how you put it together makes sense. Couple dumpers, yes, couple flatbeds. I don't think you need 2 covered holes. 1 covered hole is fine, and replace that with probably a dumper, and you should be fine. Yes, you get some concrete mixers. All that looks great. You do have a ton of gravel here. Using these guys, that makes sense. Do we have a line set up here, or do we have, yeah, a line with 3 trucks? They're all doing the same thing, and they're going out to the gravel industry. Nice. I will look at that in just a sec. I see you have the power plant planned here. Makes sense. That's a good spot for it. Already in the industry. Just trying to think, will you have a problem with what's coming in here? Ooh, are you using a transfer functionality? Looks like you are. Not on this one. Who's using the transfer? Yeah, no, this is a good spot for it. I am... Ooh. Actually, I'm not sure that you can reach this. This may be too far away to get around. It is... What is this? Yeah. Don't forget the power station or the power plant only has 1 access point, which is on this side, to walk in. And this bus station is just a little far away for that, so you're not going to be able to use it. You are using, obviously, the coal that comes in here, but that may cause some issues down the road. But I think you will be fine if you have a dedicated setup there. Yeah, that should be good. Then we have some processing plants here for coal. That looks great. How many people do you have here? So you're going to the bus stop. I press pause again without wanting to press pause. Did you maybe forget to set up this as a transfer? Oh no, there's 1 transfer that comes in. And you are probably one of the other lines that I have. Yeah, but still. Okay, I see what you're doing. I take everything back. I like that you have a backup here, and the backup is the one where another bus can actually pick up people and then get to the coal plant. However, coal is really important, and I think right now you are getting coal. No, actually I like it. I may use this. This is pretty cool. Just a point to point, and then have one of the lines just do the right thing. You could obviously do that with just one station instead of 2. just having two separate lines that one transfers and one doesn't. But the way you have it makes enough sense. I'll let you decide if you want to use 1 or 2 stations for that. No, this is good. This is very good. And then we have the gravel setup here. That looks fine. You have guys queuing in here. You have the fuel station away from wherever they're queuing. That makes sense. Another bus station right there. Where are you getting your people from? Let's see. That one goes through there. Yes, there's another transfer. That makes me think you don't transfer enough people at this point. It's pretty low amount, and what you're transferring is mostly consuming products, which is coal, instead of producing products, which is coal and gravel. That may get you later, but it's fine. Also, this one can only hold up to 200 people. That's what I'm saying. This one's also a problem. You have your line set up to... Why did you take people back? Oh yeah, no, that makes sense. There were no workplaces available at this point, so if you just allow more people to get transferred, I think you will just produce more stuff over here, and you want to do that for sure. But I like your setup. I do like your setup. This makes sense. Get the gravel guy right here. Are you the only one that's exporting right now? Aggregate loading. Wait a second. This... I'm not excited about. Having 2 large aggregate storages for gravel is very expensive for gravel, especially in the beginning. You can totally afford that if you play on easy, but this is an expense that you can combine, especially because this one becomes unimportant after you're done producing or building everything in this area. Okay, now, after I babbled on forever, finally let's get to the question you had, your rail network. Let's see. Over here, I don't see anything wrong right away. The only thing that I don't see is a crossover for this guy, but I can see you just doing a full loop back here, and that would work too. That should be fine. This one, same thing. They are nice and spread out, so there's a lot of space available for your trains to be either really long or just to have a little bit waiting area if you wanted to. Again, you're not producing or you're not bringing in enough people to really make one train, make more than one train worth it. You want to keep this running at 100% to actually make that work. And right now, even at 80%, 20 people, that's only a few hundred tons of coal ore, which will be produced into 100 tons of coal. That's 2 train wagons a day. Also, don't forget that one of these coal mines can run 3 of these ore processing plants, which right now you can't expand that. But no, this part is really fine. Using this as terminals, if you wanna go that route. If you wanted to expand across here, that will be a problem. But we are at the edge of the map, so I don't think you're gonna do much there. I do wonder if you can use the ship route or something. Let's see. Yeah, you may be able to use the shipping lane, just FYI, if you wanted to. And then you have your line going out here. That makes enough sense. And then this. I left this for the end because I really don't like it. I really don't like it. I see what you're doing. You have essentially a roundabout, oval about, to get your trains in and out of the train depot. Yeah, that makes sense. However, your train depot right now can't even get to this line. It only can go, well, if you put signals in here, it could go all the way back and then come out here. But this oval, especially on a border post, will only cause you trouble. I know that you may say, well, you have enough length here, all the way up to this junction and all the way up to this junction. Yes, you do, but if there's a train here actually waiting, nobody else can move. And that can be a problem, especially if you want to send out a lot of trains at the same time. I think this will work. I just don't think it's your best choice. What should you do instead? I would say elongate this rail. And instead of just trying to show you, instead of just talking about, I will try to show you what I would do. And I'm not saying that you have to do it exactly like I'm doing. I think there are other options, but I would start giving you a lot of room. I like that you're staying on one side of the road. That's a good start, but we can do a little better. So take this rail and run it alongside of the road, just like you have. I think that's fine. Give yourself enough room so you're able to cross over at some point. And have this your entry to the border post. That should be fine. Then we're just going to elongate this. And at some point you want to connect to that side. That should be fine. You come all the way back here. I'm not sure how I'm going to connect the depot yet, but that's how it would start. The next thing you could, technically, I think there's now enough room. You could throw this one in here. Angle of railway crossing, too sharp. Okay, that's fine. This is not as pretty as it was before, but it is probably fine. I think this is your minimum length. I would even go a little longer if you wanted to, but then you have to take back the track that's down here, which I don't know if you mind. But just take that one back even more and then see if we can cross over from here. You can straighten it out like you had it before. You just make this little messy swan neck like I have. That should get you a good starting point. Hey, Snow. Let's pause this because I don't want everything to be white. Darn it. No, this is fine. Then you have that one in there, and that looks good, but you still want to do something with this depot. Honestly, I would say make this a triangular junction. If you let me, like that. Just like this. Make a triangle. Add your rail yard like you had it before, somewhere here. Let's just complete this track. And then... yeah, honestly, I don't think you're going to have a lot of trains here, so the single siding should be fine the way you had it before. Get it right here. That should get you started. For the rail depot, now that we have this connection here, I would say don't worry about putting it there. Put it behind a terminal that you know is going to stay a terminal forever. That terminal, all you want is that is connected to everything else. Could be down here. If you wanted to. Let's say long train depot right there or whatever. You maybe use a modded one, that's fine. But having this one here would give you access to everything that you need. Lame. Would give you access to everything that you need. There we go. And to the rest of the network. You could make this a double connection if you wanted to. And now trains can come in and out here. Add your crossover somewhere close to the junction that you already have, so you don't have to elongate your junction. That should be fine. Now you allow really, really long trains to get in there. Do the same thing here, unless you're planning on adding anything behind it. If you want to get anything connected to this side of the station, you may want to do something else. But this should be fine for rail. So what you had here before, there wasn't really an issue with it, you might say, but I thought this piece, the rail connection piece, was a little short. Now we are at what? 200 meters. Yeah, 250 meters up until the time when it gets to the border. That's a better spot to be. There is a chance you may make longer trains than this, but this is a pretty safe bet for a little while. And all you can do if you get longer trains is just move this triangle a little more to the left. And then you're fine. I don't think there's any other issue here really for this area. If you're worried about putting your depot a little closer to the border, you're still pretty close, but you could move it back here in the quarry and save a couple bucks because it's closer to the border, and that should be fine. Last thing you asked, I think, was the rail construction office where you're here. So at some point, I tried using an actual roundabout in rail, that was season 1, to get the rail construction office onto the line where you connect things. I always struggle with that a little bit, because there's going to be one spot where you can't connect to. Always going to be one spot unless you add a runaround track somewhere. So, in this case, the runaround track would be needed for this piece of rail right here, unless... I don't love this idea. Unless you connect one side of the rail somewhere here. I don't know if it's going to let me. Or maybe a little too close to where we want to be. Oh, no, it will let me, totally. You can connect one side on that side and one side, so this one can connect to everything on this side plus everything on this rail. And the other connection can just be right out here. Now you have them in there. However you want, you can make this one way or whatever other track you want, but having it this close to the junction already is not going to obstruct anyone else. The only problem you may run into is this road. Just put your signal in front of the road, not behind the road, so you don't block the road itself with a train. And that should be, that is fine. And I see you have your workers already here. That's good. That's good. Having the main resource coming into your construction office will help. Where do you have your setup? Oh, this is good. You have the, I'm trying to find my correct tools. There we go. You have this guy already sitting there, so you could put another aggregate storage. Where are you? There you go. Just a small one should be fine. Could put this one right here. Let's actually just flip you. So we actually have access to this. I think you can manage to put it in here in some way, shape, or form. So get the most out of this guy. Actually, sure. Put that one there. Get your storages, the open storage. I think a small one is fine right here and should fit. There you go. That fits in there. And now you have everything that you need already well allocated, available here. Let's get this one out just a little bit. Put it in with like a little corner. This is okay. This is one where I would say aggregate storage can help, especially since I don't think we have another connection available over here. You could maybe make this work with another aggregate engine to run through here, and then you could put your rail construction office on this side, but then you're really far away from workers. I like having it close to workers like you have. This way you are now connected to every single piece of rail and shouldn't have to worry about that anymore. That is a plus. At some point, when all of this rail over here is done, you could remove this connection, just add another connection on this side, but it's not really necessary. But having a rail connection where you have it, honestly, gives you a real big advantage, which is you have a lot of single track instead of double track, which means you're already on track to have everything else that's connected from here on out, which is nice. And you're in front of the only triangle junction that you have. That's really good. So I think overall, your start out with the rail is actually pretty good. Double track here is fine. I also almost wonder if you can buy just one long train with a lot of hopper cars, and then just have it go in tandem between coal and gravel exports for a while. That may save you some steel, and you could reduce all of this double track to single track just in the beginning if you want to save some money. But that also means you're using less trains, and that's probably maybe not what you want to do, and that's fine too. But yeah, you can extend now this rail yard out a little bit more, however much you want, and that should be fine. The other thing, like I said before, adding your train platform here, and actually, can we flip that? Yes, we can flip that, that the road is there. Adding a train platform here should allow you to run a train connection right here. I'm not sure that you need anything to the left, but if you ever needed it, you would have it here. And you have a lot of space right there to get a space for turning around for your trains, so that should be good. Getting these in there, if you want to, you can connect these on this side. You really don't have to if there's nothing that needs to be connected there. And since this is a main track, I would use the road as your crossing, or as your diamond crossing. Then you have a lot of space for just your passengers. You can put these diamond crosses over roads, and that saves you just a junction because you don't want to actually block that road with your trains. So having those there should give you a good start. If there is tourism or something else, you just have to make the normal butterfly junctions that I make a lot. They're not always required. You can just make a normal triangular junction. Just be aware that at some point you may not be able to reach all the edges with your rail construction office. And there's always going to be one spot where you can't get to unless you use a full butterfly junction, but no, there's always going to be at least 2 tracks that you can't reach at least one track that you can't reach with your current construction office unless you build a loop in somewhere else. And usually that's just the next butterfly junction that will get you there. So don't worry about it too much. But this, honestly, if I look at this, no, there's that mountain there. You don't really want to go for the mountain. I would say, just turning on F2, yeah, go through the mountain here with a tunnel even if you wanted to. Look at how that's pretty steep. Yeah, I think a tunnel is your best option here. See if we can make one work right away. Yes. I would do this. This is obviously really long and 1300 work days. It does take a while to get out of this area, but I think it will be worth it. And go from there. I think that's really all you need. So your setup here was fine where you have it. Just expand it a little bit. Your rail setup here, just give yourself a little more space. This is pretty tight. But it's just for rail construction, and the rail construction trains are very, very small and short. So I don't think you will have a problem here with anything either. You can always extend this, but I found that there is a problem, a bug with the rail construction cranes where they just get stuck after a while. I don't know really why, but at some point they just decide, oh, I didn't want to go that way anymore. I didn't want to go that way. So I think just allowing for one to come out at a time right now may be helpful. You're not going to use that track for a very long time, so you could also just make this one double track most of the way, and this one can just connect to whatever you need. And you can still make most of this just double track. Let's see. What I'm talking about is right in and this one out. And then you have, let's see, I'm going to make a new tutorial on the new signals pretty soon, but having, excuse me. There you go. Just like that. And then you put another one here. This one is definitely not long enough. So that will already be a problem. You don't have to make it this complicated. Instead, you can just use one of those tracks to get you there. And now we use the last signal right here. Use a mixed one in my case. And now you have trains that can go anywhere, and there's enough space for here to wait for the next train to wait to go somewhere. And you do have some blocks now. That is not optimal in the beginning. You probably want to play without blocks completely, keep everything white, and then life will be good. But yeah, no, your setup honestly looks really, really good. I really like this transfer thing that you have set up here. This station may be a little small for a transfer if I think about it, but it should work for now. It should definitely work for now. You can also actually extend this rail all the way to over here. Obviously, it's not going to let me do that right now. Make a really bad track. But if you do this, you have the runaround track for your rail construction office, but I'm not certain that you actually need this, and you may run into issues of other trains using this track because the track in front of them is occupied. That would be bad. But no, this looks great. Something that you should consider, elevating this road across all these rails. I think that's worth it in this case. I know you know how to use bridges, but I think it could help you. Is it just 2? Make it 3 high, I guess. Go across here. And then just back down. And run in here. Nope, 2. Just grab a road. Run in. There we go. That one goes there, that one goes here, and then you should be good to go. Once you have that one built, you shouldn't have to worry about any of the trains anymore blocking you, and life should be good. Yeah, no, that's really all I have. Good start. Like what you did there, Kachip. I hope I gave you a couple things to think about. I don't feel like you need help with expanding, but let's see what you have here. Bauxite, there's a little bit. People say that's really good, but it's right where your city is, so that's probably not going to work. Uranium is outside the borders, and then there's some here. That could be a good one. Oil. Oil is probably a good one to go to next because you have some in the water right in front of you, and that distance to transport is not bad. Then you have the coal and iron. Iron, yeah. Iron here is probably a good place for a steel mill right here, and then you would want to actually extend your rail connection from here to go on the other side of the mountain because you're already kind of down there. So Where was the iron? Iron ore is there on that mountain, which is probably just on the outside of here. Yep. So somewhere here is iron. You could run a train pretty easy from right here. I don't want to show you all of that, but you should be able to go pretty easy down that mountain. Then you can go around here. Wow, this is all green. Didn't expect to do no landscaping at all, but now you're already here. So you could have a steel mill somewhere here. This is probably the next city. Put a steel mill right here. And then build your city somewhere around there. Plus you have oil, and you can connect all of this with the train network from here. And that should work together pretty nice, honestly, pretty nice. No, I like it. I like your map. I like what you did here. I like your start. I think you're on a great future endeavor. And yeah, thank you for sharing this. Thanks for letting me look at it. I hope you enjoyed. If any one of you is still watching and you want to do something similar, get in contact with me. If you want your start, if you want your save, if you want your anything reviewed or tips, tricks, or anything else from me, send me a save. Discord is the easiest way, but Twitter works too, or email. So looking forward to hearing from you. Thanks for watching. Bye.